Robin. Wow, this is one of the characters I really wanted to be in the game, and I'm glad he's in. I mean, I wanted Tim Drake to be in here, but honestly, when they revealed him and it was like Damian Wayne, I was like, oh, fine, I don't care anymore. It's just Robin. I want Robin in the game. I'm glad he's gonna have, or should I spoil it about the whole the Nightwing? Oh,
I
whatever.
think they already covered that on another cast.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Never mind. All right. So yeah, I'm wondering. I don't know where that's going actually. If it's going to be a premier skin or something like that, but I'm glad something like that is in his gear system. I don't know what to say more about him other than I'm just glad he's in the game. He looks very mobile. I like the sword combos. It reminds me of Deathstroke, even though I would want Deathstroke in the game. I mean, if they have put that on one of my favorite DC characters, then I'm fine with it. I mean, it fits his character. It's Damian Wayne. He's known to use that kind of stuff, so that makes sense. But overall, I don't have that much to say other than again, I'm really happy that he's in the game. He's one of the characters I really wanted in the first game, and I'm glad he's in the second one. So I will give him a 9 out of 10, and I will give it to Tim.
You know, there's nothing wrong with. I think the design looks good. The gameplay looks good. It's something to work really hard on the Super. I actually like the Super. I just, for some reason, I had the big reaction to this character. I saw the footage. I saw the one thing I actually actively dislike is the walking stance.
Yes.
I don't know why. It's just
a little weird. Yeah, I would say that. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, it's definitely not what I would want out of a Robin character. Or even Damian. Damian's a ninja, so I don't think it fits. But I just did not have a reaction to this character. I can't explain it, but this character does very little for me. I'm going to give him a 4 out of 10. I wish I could give him a better score, but nothing about this character is just calling out to me. Django's... Oh, what's up?
No, I was just saying you probably had like the blankest reaction. Like you look at the trailer and you just have the straightest face in the world.
I couldn't tell you why. I honestly don't know what is missing. I don't know what it would take for me to like this character, but there's something lacking for sure. Even though I think there's a lot of good ideas here. Issue, what do you got for us?
I'm not big on the character either. I mean, I'm happy that Robin is in. And I feel like if it wasn't Damian Wayne, you probably couldn't have had the sword in there. I feel like part of the reason they implemented the sword into the moveset was because it was Damian. The design is okay, I suppose. I mean, don't love it, don't hate it. It's good. Story-wise, I'm not expecting too much. Gameplay, I only caught little bits. I cannot remember what. I recall something about it, using the sword, and if you like, where he scrapes it against the floor, and like there's something about not being able to cross it.
The line in the sand.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That was fucking stupid.
And that default stance, something about that default stance. I don't know. It's just, again, I mean, I'm more akin to characters that have like a style to their stance, and something that, makes them stand out. And Damien, I don't know, just has this really bland, just neutral sort of.
Definitely has that kind of Tanya stance instead.
Yeah,
Tanya's
it's just
carrying a sword.
Yeah, no flavor, no, style. I'm not big on Robin at all, and that's such a shame because it's a Robin, But
yeah, I love Robin.
But I mean, I suppose it's nothing terrible, but I mean it's nothing too amazing either. So probably slightly below average. I'll give it a 4. And I'll throw it on you, Redman.
Okay. Yeah, Robin gameplay wise is actually impressing me more than I thought he would. Seeing Dizzy recently play him on stream really impressed me. I might actually try him later down on the line when I'm kind of bored with the game. I think he'll be a fun character to try out. I don't really have an attachment to the character. I don't really give a shit about him. He's whatever. He's fine. Just Damian Wayne. Gear-wise, I think he looks interesting. I like that you can remove his hood and cape and stuff. I think that's kind of cool. Can you change his sword? I didn't know. If you
Yeah,
could do
that's
that.
his item to change.
Okay. Wasn't sure. I haven't seen actually any different swords, but that's actually really cool. Yeah, I don't know. I think he looks good. I think he looks cooler than I was expecting. I mean, it's not a character I really wanted, but nonetheless, I'm kind of glad he's in the game, and yeah, curious to see how he pans out. So you can go ahead, Cyborg. Oh, I'll give him a 6 out of 10, I guess.
I like Robin as a character. Don't like Damian Wayne, especially not the Damian Wayne in the Injustice universe. He's just fucking awful. And his design in this game, though, looks really good. I think his overall design looks great. His gear looks great. The interchangeable swords, they did show off one, I think, at least one different one in the breakdown of them when they broke them down in the watchtower. And I think they look cool. There's just various swords. I think his standing stance is incredibly stupid. You could have had premier skins of at least like Ra's al Ghul or something like that if he actually held it like a fucking competent swordsman instead of an ignorant douche. So there's that. And he has a lot of cool gameplay elements. I disagree on the line in the sand. I actually like that. I'm all pro, as I've stated, in these over-the-top crazy abilities that just implement unique things to the game that I just have never seen in a fighting game. So, like we're gonna get to like with Captain Cold's Mega Man platforms and stuff like that. The more like unique things we can get from the abilities, I like. So I like the idea that it makes no sense at all why the opponent would take damage by crossing a fucking line in the ground. But
Yeah.
at the same time, hey, why not? It sounds cool. It's like a Looney Tunes episode. I dare you to cross this line. And so yeah, I like the idea of cornering my opponent, putting the line there, standing back, and just fucking them up with batarangs or some bullshit like that, where they just have to stand there and take it. I don't know. Stuff like that is just funny to me, and I think it's a really cool ability. He has a lot of cool moves, very ninja-esque, and yeah, his gameplay looks like fun, and I think he's going to be a very good character in the game. Do I want to play him? No, but yeah, he looks like fun, he looks cool, design-wise, gameplay-wise, story-wise, I could give a fuck, so couldn't give a fuck, I should say. And overall, I give the character... I'd say 6.5 out of 10. And
I just want to comment on the line in the sand thing. Like, it's like an automatic ice clone where you take fucking 25% every time you cross the line. I just thought, like,
know, it's stupid,
losing
but
to
it's
that,
great. It's
I'd
stupid
be
and
so
great.
salty.
I don't know. I think that's hilarious. I lost
fun.
because I crossed the line.
is-
You shouldn't have crossed the line. So that's what you can say to your opponent. I warned you.
This is a line we do not cross.
What were you saying, Tep?
There are lines we do not cross.
What were you saying, Tep?
No, it's just I don't dislike the idea, but based on the amount of damage it does, if you have less than 20% life and he draws that fucking line, the match either stops or the match is pretty much over.
Well, it
'Cause now
probably
you can
goes
pretty much
away
zone
in
it out.
time. I can't remember if it goes away in time, but
But like at the very least, like the pause button has been hit and the ball's in Damien's court. You can basically do whatever he wants, unless you can counter zone him. But what if you're not a counter zoner? Like if you're Firestorm, maybe it's okay. But what if you're Grodd? Like you monkey leap over that stupid line? That's dumb. I don't know. I like the idea. I'm for the idea. That's a lot of damage though. But yes, continue.
yeah, no, that was it. So I'm pretty sure that's everyone. So we'll go into Black Canary. And for me, Black Canary is an absolute must for this game. Love her in the comics. And yeah, I'm excited, especially excited to see what happens in story. If she dies, I will fucking throw a bitch fit because this character has been through hell.
I think she's gonna die.
Okay, well,
I'll say that.
either way, okay, so I don't want any comments from people that have actually seen story shit because I don't trust you.
I'm not saying
and
shit.
Just you making
Oh, I'm not
noises
reading
now
any
makes
comments.
Yeah, yeah,
now
you're
on.
making the oh my god.
Well, the hum can mean anything.
Yeah, if she
so-
dies in the story mode, I'm coming back and yelling at you for making those noises. So, anyways,
It doesn't.
gameplay wise and design wise, I think she's great. Gameplay wise, I like a lot of her tactical attacks and command grabs and parries and stuff like that. I think is perfect for the character. I don't know what else they would do. gameplay wise. So I think they really nailed what she should be gameplay wise, and I like her trait and how it works and that whole thing. I like that you can switch it out for the Canary bombs to the callback for the comics as well as the TV show. So that's kind of cool. And the gear she has is really cool. Very Canary. So very Canary. Yeah, it's fitting for her. And yeah, I mean, that wraps up Black Canary for me. So I'm looking forward to her, and I would give her 7.5 out of 10. And I will throw to Brusk.
Well, you chose the person who's like the least interested in playing Black Canary, but that's fine.
Okay, well then make it quick.
Yeah,
You're not the only one.
I'll just say a couple things. I'll say like, I don't know, 2 things. One, I'll give her a shot. I'll just say I'll give her a shot. Gear looks fine. It looks okay. It looks acceptable. Just nothing in my interest for Black Canary, so I don't want to elaborate on that too much. But overall, I'll give her a try, and her gear looks pretty acceptable. I'll give her. Well, I don't want to give her a rating because I don't know. I just don't particularly care for the character unless I'm forced to make a rating. Do you want me to make a rating, or do you just want to move on?
Yeah, you can skip the rating if you don't feel like.
Oh, okay, all right. Then we'll go to temp.
Oh, I thought the rating was mandatory.
I told you
Fuck
earlier
me.
you could skip. I said
I
that
must
with
have
like the
missed that.
first few ones.
Pretty
Sure, I said that on like Wonder
asshole.
Woman or something. Anyways,
Yeah, Canary was one of the bigger disappointments for Injustice 2. I was really excited for this character, and I still contend her design is good. I think her gear is very interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing what gear we have for her. I just don't get the gameplay. It doesn't make sense to me. You have all these rushdown options, you have all these mobility options, and then you give her like the best turtling move in the game. I don't understand. So what happens is you have this really good rushdown character who gets the life lead, and then she sits on trait. The match basically, the pace of the slows down by like 200%, and now it's just now I have to guess when I can press buttons or not, and it's just so dumb. I think it's so boring. It's not, even if people like the design, I certainly don't think it's good for a rushdown design. And I definitely don't think anyone would imagine Canary being like this in the comics, you know? Can you imagine reading a Green Arrow comic and Black Canary is just not doing shit for 4 panels because she's sitting on her fucking trait? No, that's so fucking dumb. Yes, just not what I would want out of a rushdown character. No, I don't think this is good for any character. I don't like characters that shut down the game. That was my biggest problem with Injustice Scorpion, is because there was no safe direction to hold. There was no footsie game. You were constantly guessing. So just there were no fundamentals in that matchup, at least at face value. Maybe if the matchup evolved more, but I just really don't like what they did with this design. Hopefully, now this may all be premature. They may patch her day 1, and the trait will be reasonable, and she'll no longer be this bizarro turtle character. But we'll see. I'm gonna give her a 4 out of 10. Cyborg. Yes, Cyborg.
yeah, I already started. But I will throw it on to
See, I was second guessing myself, but yeah, I hand it over.
Redman.
Pass it on.
Okay. Yeah, I enjoyed her at first in the beta. She was kind of fun at first. Towards the end, I started enjoying her less when I realized she's just kind of another mix-up character with full screen trait for some reason. It is a weird design. I'm glad she's in the game though. Like storyline-wise, like I feel like if Fate and Green Arrow are there, I feel like she's essential. She really needed to be in this game. It's just an interesting choice. She was a character I wanted for the first game, so I'm glad she's in. I wish she played a little more differently, but like Cyborg said, it's really like, what else could they have done with her? Personality-wise, she's great. I'm fine with her. Yeah, not much else to say. It's just Black Canary, so landed over to Ishii. I'll give her a 6 out of 10.
Devastating, coming in with those kicks, and oh my goodness, those full screen screams.
Oh yeah.
I'm not a big. I mean, it's good for the character, and I'm happy for those who are satisfied with her gameplay. Design-wise, she looks pretty decent. Again, I'm not really too familiar with the character to be critical or anything. Gear, yeah, like Tem said, her gear looks very interesting. Curious to see what she has. Yeah, I mean, I really have nothing else to add. I mean, she seems like a character that was well deserved for this game. A character that deserved her spot. And yeah, like now that I know I can skip scores, I guess I'll pass on this one too.
Okay,
So,
go ahead
yeah.
and go on the Swamp Thing.
Real quick, I do have just a very brief response to Redman. Because I know you guys were saying, what would you do with this character? I would turn it into a damage snipe, where if you'd use it outside of a combo, you just get like a good 12% damage. That's fair. If you combo into it, it turns into a status ailment. So the character's damage is reduced temporarily, and they have more startup for the next 7 seconds. That's what I would have done with it. But yeah, Swamp Thing.
Sounds
Or unless
interesting.
you had a response to that.
No, that sounds interesting for sure. I would
Okay,
probably
cool.
prefer that. Yeah.
Now, part of my immense exposure to DC, I mean, as a casual myself, Injustice contributes to a lot of that. I feel like my knowledge on DC lore in general has been helped by the fact that I played Injustice and was introduced to characters like Sinestro, characters like Killer Frost. And Swamp Thing is no different with Injustice 2. I did not know anything about the character until Injustice 2 came in. I'm really liking the character's look. I'm pretty interested in the backstory. So, I mean, obviously I know nothing else about him. I did mention before, I kind of find it interesting that he plays opposite to how you'd expect him to play, just based on observation. And he's a character I'm rooting for. He looks pretty cool. But nothing else to add. I'll throw this on Brusk.
I'm glad that Swamp Thing's in the game because he was one of the most requested characters to be in Injustice 1. I like the animations. The animations look really, really good for Swamp Thing. This is probably the only tank character that is probably the most interesting for me personally. Probably a tank character that I probably would try that other than Bane. Don't know much to say. Don't know much to say about the story. Gear could be a little better, but honestly, that's probably it's what I expect. So I get what I asked for, so I can't really complain. But that's pretty much it. I'm glad he's in the game. I think he was on my top 10 of who I want to see in the Injustice 2. So I'll give him an 8 out of 10, and I'll give this to Cyborg.
Swamp Thing, I think he looks good in his base form. Some of the gear, I know Redman and some others have not been a fan, but I actually like the bark and stuff like that. I think it looks neat. Just like with Ivy, I like the bark skin. I like the bark armor. Not all of it. I mean, some of the crowns and stuff look really odd to me. But I do like some of the bark, and I'm okay with playing Groot in a DC game, so that's probably part of the reason why I'm okay with it. I'm fine with that. I have no problem with that. And the shaders should be interesting with him. But I do hope we get some more mossy, grassy type of stuff rather than just purely...
for more Moxie's kind of stuff.
I mean, yeah, always, like I said, always good for variety. His gameplay looks like a ton of fun. I would definitely play the character, but like I said, big plate of characters as it is. Plus, I know Redman's going to play him a lot. So just the fact that he's being represented, I'm happy with in its own. Yeah, not much else to add other than the story. I'm interested to see what else he does in his interaction with Ivy and how they interact together. Yeah, for me, I give him a, I'd say 8 out of 10. And I will throw it to Temp.
Because it's Swamp Thing, he has a reverse cap. I won't give him anything less than a 5 just because it's Swamp Thing in a fighting game. That's just crazy to me. So, he pretty much... there's definitely a curve there. But I think his gameplay looks really good. His super looks good. I like his personality in the dialogues. He's fucking playing with birds and shit. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
I want to, if for no other reason, I want to give him a 7.5 just for the win pose. It's so good.
Yeah, it's very majestic, definitely.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Godlike.
Really good stuff. Fuck, I can't. I'm trying to focus on who's gone already.
I think it's just Redman is left.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, 7.5 Redman. You're good.
Yeah, Swamp Thing is one of the ones I wanted the most in Injustice 2, and he's definitely one of the characters I'm most excited for. So, so far he's almost everything I wanted. I've talked before on the Warrior Shrine about his design and how I'm not perfect with it. Like I've said, I wanted a more Alan Moore-esque design, but this is, considering other NetherRealm designs, I think this is fine. And yeah, his gameplay looks great. Like I love that he's very up in your face. I think he should be that way. I love grapplers, so he's definitely up my alley. A few things I'm worried about. I'm worried about him getting out zoned. I'm worried about how the clone, how that will work, if that will help him get in on zoners. I'm worried about if his command grab's really going to be that good. I know it's good for damage, but if he gets any Oki off that or anything, like I wonder how he's going to work really. I'm also worried about how his combos are going to work. It seems like you're really going to have to make use of his meter to get any sort of damage. I think he has a launcher, but I've heard it's kind of finicky. For people who have the game early, it seems like he does have good damage, but you really have to spend meter to get into that high damage. So another thing I was disappointed that his line grabs are made to be such a big deal, and then they're actually kind of shit. Like they're good in combos for damage, but it seems like you can just duck them, and it's not really an effective like counter zoning tool. So I'm curious to see. I don't really know why they played that up so much, but all of his animations are great. The character looks great. It's pretty much everything I wanted. I wasn't expecting them to implement the clone. I thought that was such a cool little aspect of the character that they really didn't have to include, but they did, and I thought that was so sick. I love that he like tags one out during a combo, then you can call him in. Like that is just so sick to me. So I'm very happy with how he looks. They did an outstanding job overall. So I'll give him probably a 9 out of 10. For the design, I think that does kind of detract. But yeah. Then I move on to Catwoman.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Catwoman, a character I don't feel like is really needed in this game. Like, maybe to be with like Batman and shit, I guess it's okay. I mean, she's not the worst choice. It's just a character I really kind of didn't expect to come back, especially with Cheetah on the roster. Not much to say. She's not a character I played very much in Injustice 1, but I mean, she looks fun. She looks fine. I do like the ability to get revived by her cat. I think that's pretty cool. And the diamond thing you were telling me about earlier, Cyborg, that sounds
The augmentation,
pretty cool.
yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, not a whole lot to say. Her design's fine. She looks good. Her face is kind of weird, but it's not terrible. I think she
I don't
looks
think
better
it
than
looks that weird. I don't think it looks that bad on this character render, but that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, it actually looks fine on the render. Just in game, it looks kind of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's. I guess she's an okay choice. I'll probably give her a 5 out of 10. Not really someone I'm looking to use, but yeah. I'll give it over to Tim.
Okay, same, really. Nothing, absolutely nothing to add. It's Catwoman, 5 out of 10. Cyborg?
Yeah, I mean, I disagree in the sense that I think her gear looks really awesome. Her gear alone makes me tempted to play this character. I love the fucking neon whip so much. That is so awesome to me. Like I said, I like neon colors. I love the idea of being able to change those neon colors based on the shader. And one of the ones that they showed off in the gear stream today with that neon whip, just the way she holds it and everything just looks so fucking... It's dominatrix. I mean, she's just going full bore. I mean, it's crazy, but I love so many of her gear options. She has like a I don't know, it's like a crazy like welding mask almost looking thing. It looks interesting, like it's a face mask. She's got hoods. She's got all sorts of crazy stuff, and I really, really dig a lot of her gear and the way she looks in this game. The face, yeah, could use a little bit. I mean, it looks like Melissa Milano or whatever, but yeah, just with a wider jaw, I guess. But yeah, gameplay-wise, yeah, she feels a little odd compared to Cheetah, because I think Cheetah looks like so much fun, whereas when I look at Catwoman's gameplay, I'm like, yeah, that looks like fun, but I don't really feel as compelled to play her. So more, I mean, I would play her for the gear, but not as much for the gameplay. I do like that her advanced role, or her meter burn role, is a cat crawl, which is cool.
That is neat.
Super looks okay, and I like that she lands in the cool action pose. And I'm excited to see what she does in story. Hopefully she does the right thing and joins the right side. And does some good stuff. And yeah, overall, I give her a 7.5 out of 10. And I will throw it to Ishi.
Yeah, I really dig the leather and the gear. Base design looks good. I mean, no more metal cat claws like in Justice 1. Ugh. Gameplay, not too blown away. I mean, I do like how it's stylistic. Like, I especially love when she whips out the like when her whip wraps around the opponent's neck, she pulls it down, then like does a stomp, then does a second stomp immediately after, and she has like this cool pose that goes along with it. I do also like how she calls her cat Isis. It just comes in and like attacks and then immediately fucks off. I feel like as far as roster spot goes, she deserves it because just for the sake of, I'm hoping she does something that redeems herself, like just for a redemption story arc. Catwoman deserves her spot in this game. Face-wise, I mean, it looks fine in some, like as a I feel like it looks fine until she does facial expressions. That's when it gets a little awkward. I mean, there are also people who point out her face looks kind of like a Ozra Miller, and I can kind of see it.
Dear God. Just zip the pants back up. We're done. We're done here. Like, just go back to Ivy's render. Hold
on. Sorry for ruining the image.
Tried to make it work, but
she looks fine to me. I especially do like the super, but nothing else to add. So I'd give her a 7. That takes us to Cheetah, I believe.
Did Brusque go?
That actually takes us to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I keep forgetting. I always assume that.
Keep forgetting about Brusque. But anyways, go ahead, Brusque.
Well, I'll just keep this brief because I don't have much to say. Because honestly, I love Catwoman as the character in the comics. It's just that I don't see anything interesting in a fighting game. Honestly, not to say that she's bad, but the only thing that really makes me want to try her out a little bit is the gear, because I want to play her like what you said, Cyborg. I want to play her for the gear, not for the gameplay. Story looks like there could be some interesting takes in the story for her, but other than that, she's fine. I mean, I like her primary design. Everything looks cool. I'm hoping for the do we know if we have like the purple kind of color for her?
Yeah, she has purple as an option.
Yeah,
okay.
She definitely has.
Okay.
I'd if she doesn't have gray as well, her classic type stuff.
Yeah, because I think the purple looks perfect. It's like a perfect Catwoman design. But anyways, yeah, gear saves it for me. Story pretty much as well. 7 out of 10. And Cheetah, I actually am really, really excited for Cheetah. The only thing that's just making me really, really concerned is that apparently she has like she's very unsafe on a lot of things. I just can't do that when I'm playing characters. I just can't. If I want to get a combo down, I want to get it down. If I mess it up, fine, I'll get punished. But I don't want to get punished for every single thing I do. So, honestly, if that's the case, I'm probably not going to be using her as much as I really wanted to. But if she's like since she's like a fast character, she has these really cool flashy moves. Super could be a little better, but honestly, that's just Cheetah. That's the Cheetah type character. Gear. You know what? I've seen a lot of people not really liking the gear with the bones and everything. I don't think it's that bad. I think it's fine. I mean, it's nothing too terrible. I mean, like if I don't like it, then I'm probably gonna change it to something else and put the stats on like this bone crown to another crown that looks better than that. So, yeah, Cheetah is one of the 5 characters I'm going to be using a lot. I just hope it doesn't. I just hope I end up not using her as much as I wanted to because of the whole unsafe moves and everything. But I'll give her an 8.9 out of 10. And 10.
What the hell, 8.9? All right.
You're very generous.
Cheetah's really interesting to talk about. The general rule of thumb is the more obscure the character is, the more lenient I am. So I'm not going to be too hard on the character. Definitely not my pick. But now that she's in the game, I guess my summary is I like every other thing about her. I think the gameplay archetype is kind of cool. I think her design, I don't like her design at all. I think the animations on the specials look awesome. You know, I think she's well animated. I like the trade effects look really good. However, I don't like her costume. It reminds me way too much of Reptile's alternate from Deadly Alliance. No bueno, not good. Um, it's funny though. Like in the game as a gameplay archetype, even though I think it's interesting, I would never use it because, like Brusque said, she's a little bit on the unsafe side. I don't really, even though Shazam was YOLO, I never really played him like a YOLO grappler. I was very footsie heavy with that character. But even though I'm not a big fan of the gameplay, she probably has my second favorite super in the game just because it's basically Maximum Spider, and I think that's awesome to me. I think that's so cool.
I forgot about that.
It's tight. It's really interesting. So, God, 5.5 out of 10. It's a hard character to rank because you really have to plug everything into an equation. So we'll move on to Ishii.
Full screen pounces, dive pounces, claw slashes. This is the ultimate rushdown character, and I'm gonna have so much of a fucking hard time fighting against her. Like, I know for sure.
Well, she's punishable apparently, so you can just pounce
Yeah,
her.
if I'm playing as Darkseid, I better be ready. I better keep those Omega beams ready. Keep this bitch away from me, please.
Yeah. I would treat her like an MK9 Scorpion. Just block enough and do your punishes, and I think it'll be fine. At least for the online cheetahs.
Yeah, the online cheetahs.
Online cheetahs.
Yeah, I got a full glimpse of her when I was watching the Darkseid stream, and she literally made me like draw back on Darkseid a bit. It was her. She was the reason why.
Interesting.
And I am legitimately scared of this character, and I'm really hoping I don't run into her too often online. But all in all, she seems like a really, really interesting character. Nothing else too much to add. I'll drop a 7 on her. So, yeah. Cyborg, did you go?
Nope. Okay, so for me, Cheetah is one of the best looking characters in the game in terms of fun factor. Her gameplay calls out to me. I love the effects just when she's doing all her slashes. I love the lines that go in the air with the little slash marks. And I love during her super when she scrapes against the ground. Just like the effects, the sound effects, the visual effects. She's just a visually appealing character just to watch played. When I'm seeing somebody play her, I'm having a good time. I can't look away from the screen because she's doing all sorts of... She's doing like a mix between command grab style grabs and all sorts of crazy flipping over her opponent's head. She can do leap into the air to get in on opponents, to get in on zoners, and then from that leap she can do like the dive kick, except for it's not a kick, it's a dive pounce, like Baraka and MK2. She uses her hands on the way down. And I like that above, like at any point in the air, she can slash down, like just start slashing down and clawing at her opponent. She's got all sorts of crazy fun things, and I love that a lot of her stuff is like comboing into throws and then comboing from her throws and meter burning her throws to keep comboing. It's crazy. And I like that her super, she runs across the screen. I actually disagree on her design. I think her design looks really good. I'm a fan of this design. I know some people said they don't really like her face. They wish it was more cat-like. I completely disagree. I think I'm not huge into like people that look like animals, I guess, like the mixture of that kind of thing. I'm not super into that, but I think this is the perfect amount of both, where she looks human enough for me to not feel awkward. So you're not having the awkward boner syndrome, but at the same time, like confusing boners where you're not sure whether it's an animal or a person. I think she looks mostly like a person with some animalistic traits, which I can get behind that. I can dig that. To me, that's still reasonable. I like the slightly cat nose with all the spots, and then the fur, like the very, very short fur, but everything, and then the claws, of course, and then maybe a little bit on the ears and the eyes, but everything else is pretty much humanish. And I like that. I think everything is just exactly the way I'd want it. So that's also a big reason why I'm interested in this character, is I actually like the design. Playing this character, I would not hate looking at this character from a gameplay standpoint or a design standpoint. So I'm really digging both of those aspects. The gear-wise, I'm in agreement with whoever said that they actually, I think it was Brusque who said they actually like a lot of her gear. I like the bones.
Yeah.
I like the hell, one of the ones that I might use might not even be the bones. It might be just her classic cat-like or Catwoman-like cowl, where it's just the little cat ears on top and it covers the rest of her hair. So I'd probably use that, honestly. I think that looks really good. And yeah, I just love this. I'm really more and more thinking this character will be my number 4, and just having a pure rushdown character, because I don't really have a pure rushdown character in my arsenal, and she just looks like a lot of fun. So maybe her abilities will give her a little bit more to work with in terms of the unsafeness. Maybe it'll give her a couple specials to really break that mold. I don't know what the hell those would be, but just her base set, she is one of my favorite characters just with her base arsenal to go with. So if I was using a character in tournament mode, she might be that character, because I don't feel like I need to rely on abilities to really get the most out of the character. Yeah, so for me, she's probably 8.5 out of 10. Really, really enjoy this character, and she's not a character I wanted at all. Had no desire for this character to be in the game, not a fan of Cheetah, but she's easily one that if I picked up and played this character, it's gonna be like Katana Syndrome, where I would become a fan of the character by proxy. So really excited for the character. I think that's everybody. Redman, did you chime in? Okay.
No, I haven't. I'll keep it short and sweet though. I think she looks like shit. Not gonna use her. She has some cool animations. I think Cersei would have been a much better pick. Fuck Cheetah.
Fuck Cheetah. I'm out.
Yeah.
2 out of 10.
Boom, drops.
One more thing. Eat your vitamins, stay in school, and fuck Cheetah. I'm out. Thank you. Fuck you.
Damn.
I mean, yeah. And then Cyborg also, I don't give a shit about.
It's the double feature right before the big main event.
Right?
Pick the mic back up after you drop it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, one more thing. Fuck Cyborg too.
That's just like, I really much would have preferred Martian Manhunter over this shitter. Honestly, I think he's a way better character.
Oh, definitely.
Did you call him a shitter?
Yeah, shitter.
Shitter? Jeez.
It's kind of a thing in the NRS community.
Okay.
It's better than cuck. So.
Oh god, don't even bring that shit into this, or I'm gonna have to bleep
Dude,
that
it's
out.
not better than cuck. Not many things are better than cuck.
No, just stop. Let's keep that shit off of here.
I will say Grid actually did make me more excited for the character. I think Grid is a cool addition. I wasn't expecting that at all, but a friend of ours, mine, Smoke Man's I know, she likes him. Earl really wanted Grid, and I was really surprised that he got in as a premier skin. Wasn't what I was expecting, but I also will say I'm glad they changed his trait, because that was the worst aspect of the character, and I think it's cool that they gave him a mother. Allows for more setups and that drone thing that he could send across the ground. I think that's really neat. But yeah, I would have much preferred Martian Manhunter. I think they should have just gone with him. I really don't see why we need Cyborg.
Honestly, I think it's just one of those cases where they didn't want to put him, like they meant, like another cast. You guys mentioned it in another cast episode. Like Martian Manhunter is one of those characters. Is like, yeah, okay, fine, you wanted this character here. We didn't want him. We didn't want to put him in, but we'll just put him in because of you. Now shut up.
Maybe
I can see that. Yeah.
Maybe it's Martian Manhunter in the form of Cyborg.
Yeah, that's possible.
Anything is possible.
I'd be alright with that.
Martian Manhunter is a gear character, or premier skin.
So what's your rating for Cyborg?
4 out of 10. I'm glad for like the 4 people who wanted him. Like, enjoy the character, but
You're calling them all out right now.
yeah. You.
It's 4 people if you combine all the polls. Like, it's not even 4 people on one poll.
Yeah, he's bottom tier on like every poll I've seen. But I'll actually hand it off to Cyborg. So
okay. I will agree with everything you just said. I don't really have anything to say about this character. Grid looks cool, but not cool enough for me to want to play Cyborg's gameplay. And I honestly don't have any problem with Cyborg's gameplay. I'm sure there's people that enjoy that gameplay, think it looks fun, and are a fan of the character. That's great. I'm not I don't agree. He does nothing for me. And Injustice Cyborg in this universe is just a complete asshole. He has like no motive to do anything that he is doing, and he's just a complete douche. So, yeah, I'm not excited for him at all. But if I'm ranking based on his design and his gameplay, I'll say 4 out of 10. And I will throw it off to Ishii.
I mean, he was one of those characters I expected to return, but I'm not really big on the character. I don't really care much about Victor here. I do like how his logo is on his armor now. That's really interesting. Other than that, I don't know his gameplay. I don't really know much else about him, so I guess I'm gonna have to pass this and throw it off to Temp.
Okay, I don't necessarily disagree with anything that's been said so far, but I do like the character in essence. I am a big Teen Titans fan. It's just in the Injustice universe, A, like Cyborg said, he's a big douchebag. No one fucking likes him. And B, he doesn't have any characters to work off of, man. You know, there's no Robin, there's no Beast Boy, there's no Raven. He doesn't... Him and Dickbag Superman are just not a good duo. They're not interesting together at all.
It definitely feels like they're two jocks in high school that are just like, fuck
Seriously.
all of you. We're just fucking
it's a
so
bunch
cool.
of slap ass for sure.
Slap ass. Just slap ass.
But I mean, I do like the design. I really like his shader. I think Cyborg's actually part of that top 3, top 4 like best shader characters. He looks really good. I haven't seen anything with Grid yet. I haven't even looked at the Grid footage yet, so I'll have to check that out later. But man, I don't really know if I want a redemption story because that kind of negates all the bullshit. If they redeem him, that's a borderline retcon in my book. So that's very shaky ground. If you make him a straight-up villain, I think there's potential there, but you gotta do it right. You gotta really show me why he became what he is. You gotta show me why he's this really vindictive, just hateful, pro-tyranny kind of guy. You gotta set it up right, you know? So we'll see. I'm not optimistic because that's not because I don't have faith in them, just because it's not an easy thing to do. But his design's good. I know I'm going on a bit long here, but I really admire NRS for taking the low-tier characters and changing as little as possible. I really like the fact that they didn't bail on the designs. Like, they're low-tier, let's make the low-tier work. I think that's the better way to go. Let's not throw out the baby with the bathwater. Let's make this work as much as we can. And that's how Sonic Fox described him. They basically said it's still low-tier Cyborg, but souped up, and I like that a lot. 6.5 out of 10. Brusque, have you gone yet? Yes, okay.
No, I haven't gone yet. I will say, okay, first, I don't really care. Well, it would be a lie if I said I don't. But I just liked him I just like him more as a Teen Titans character more than a Justice League member. I mean, like, I remember Temp saying, like, ever since he was a Justice League member, he became less interesting. But
Definitely.
I mean, yeah, in the story he references Beast Boy about him being in the Phantom Zone, him like losing his friends like Beast Boy and everything. I'm like, oh, I can see that he has feelings and everything. It's just like it's just not enough. I mean, I want to see if Beast Boy was in the game, then I think it would be much better. With them would be like really really good, but we don't know that yet. But the things that I do like about him actually, since I was like. Well, I expected him to be in there, but I wasn't too thrilled about it. But I would say that his gameplay looks a little bit more interesting than it did in the first one, and also Grid helps it a lot. It's not enough for me to make me want to try him, but definitely something I will probably look into later down the road. Nothing in the first months or so that I will probably. Nothing about Cyborg will probably make me want to play him in like the first several months, but I'll give it it's hard because I don't want to be too harsh since I don't hate Cyborg, but I'll just say I don't know 5 out of 10. That's it. Oh, and I gotta move on to Dr. Fate.
All right, let's get to something that's good.
Finally, something. Okay, something really good to talk about. I am really, really liking Dr. Fate. Design awesome, gear awesome, super move good. I'll just say good. Voice awesome. Story is probably going to be something really good too. I'm. This is probably going to be another zoner type character. It kind of looks like it too. Um, don't know. I don't know. I'm just not familiar with this gameplay, but it's not something that I wouldn't. That I'm not like. It's not making me stop not wanting. Ugh, it's not making me not want to play him. I just. It's the curiosity for me to go in and play with him is really it's high. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm expecting some surprises in there. So I just don't know what to say because I'm just really excited to get my hands on this character, and I just want to I don't know, just have as much have the surprise experience there when I play him. So I'll give him a 8 out of 10. And I know this is Cyborg's favorite, so I'll give it a Cyborg.
Yeah, fuck you, Redman. Okay. Okay. Dr. Fate, yes. I love the fact that his normals are done with all magic. That attention to detail is fantastic. I love that I mean, yeah, I would have preferred a zoner / rushdown character, but I'm okay with him being like more, 90% zoner, 10% combo potential, or 95-5, or whatever the hell it is. I think as a keep away character, it makes sense given what we know about the character. He's usually not wanting to get involved in battle. He kind of wants to let things play out as they are, not intervene. So I like the idea that's just like, this is a guy that's just going to be like, you know what, fucking stay away from me. I don't really want to get up close. I don't want to hurt you type of thing. So it's kind of cool in that fashion. But yeah, I like so many of his specials look really good. I love the little quick orbs that you can throw. I love the onks that you build up and then set out. I love a lot of his normals, like his back 3. Just a lot of great gameplay, and it looks visually appealing. I think his super's good, and I think look-wise, I think he looks fantastic. He's another one that I'm fine with his base model. They could give me nothing else and I'd be absolutely satisfied. But I have seen some of his different chest plates and different helmets, and I gotta say, some of them look really good, so I'm excited for those. I'm going to mix it up a bit, and a lot of his shaders, well, I can't say a lot because I've only seen like 2 or 3 of his shaders, look really good, and I'm actually going to throw something in the chat right now that I've had waiting for about 2 hours. That is... that shader looks really good if you guys want to check that out real quick.
Oh,
dear God, the white, the red, and the black just looks... I like red. I mean, I prefer blue, but dear God, does that look fucking amazing to me.
That looks good.
It does look
Pretty
good.
nice.
And his helmets and his chest plates.
It
looks like it's about to overtake the Holy Land. Like, it's very Crusade.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He looks like an old fucking knight, and that looks so beautiful for him. It just so...
Okay, I can see it.
Yeah.
He looks like he's about to die in Dark Souls. Like, yeah.
I dig it so much. I mean, obviously, like I said, I'm more into
Souls
blues,
character.
purples, and greens and stuff. But I really, when red, gray, and black and white are mixed together like that, and silver, it just looks fucking phenomenal. So yeah, I think he's gonna look really good with a lot of his shaders and gear. And I'm really, really interested in what he does in story. As a guy that doesn't like to intervene too much, I'm not sure what the hell he's going to do and how they're going to play that off. Because in the comics, they didn't want to get the magic users involved. Shit goes, really, or it really hits the fans. So I'm not really sure what he's going to do. If he brings Black Canary back only for her to die, dear God, this character and I are going to have a talk. Because he's just like, oh, I intervened with fate, and now I bring her back, and now she just gets smashed by a car or something. She's that bug on the window that just went fucking face first, and yeah, 60 miles per hour. Ugh. So that would suck, but I'm not really sure what he's gonna do, and I'm really curious though. So I'm super excited for this character. 1 or 2 main for me between him and Ivy, or whatever I end up going with, but I think I'm going to have fun. I think he's going to be my Kenshi of the game after the fact. And yeah. So overall, I give him a... I said 10 out of 10 is rare, but in this case, I can't think of a single thing I would do to really make him better, other than, yeah, no, 10 out of 10 for this one for me. He's just fucking phenomenal, and I love all of his intros so far.
Supergirl
Always
and
slamming
Dr.
a book. He's always slamming a book when he makes his punchline. It's great. And he's also just really like an asshole, and I love it. Like he's blunt with the people he talks to. He's like, "Oh, looks like your mother was only $50 away from an abortion." And then he closes the book, and it's like, "Damn!" Like, holy shit, he just went balls deep. Holy crap. Anyways,
It goes in dry.
Bloodline.
Okay, I will throw it to Redman then.
Yeah, honestly, like you pretty much covered it. Like this character looks near perfect. Like I was honestly so stunned. Like when I saw the render, I just didn't expect them to actually make him look almost exactly like how he does. They took like every aspect of every Fate design and kind of just threw it into one, and it just looks absolutely perfect. I love the wide eyes. I love the gold. I love the blue. I just love everything about it. Like you said, if this was his base design, like in Injustice 1, I would play him all day, every day. Like, I'm so happy with how they got this character so right. I do kind of wish he did not just use magic in his normals. Like, I get why they did do that. Like, it's sick, but he does kind of use his fists sometimes in the comics, so I wouldn't have minded if he had some other stuff, but how they did it, I'm fine with. Gameplay-wise, I am worried about zoning aspect because it's not really a character I like to play as. I don't really like to zone, but I mean, when a character like I wanted so much like looks this good, I feel like it'd be ridiculous for me not to try him out and give it my best. Like after I played KI with Temp, I really wanted to use Cinder, but I was always worried that I wouldn't be able to gel with his design. But then once I got into using him and learned him, I really enjoyed it. So I don't think I'm gonna stray away from trying that this time around. So Dr. Fate's one of my favorite DC characters, like, of all time, so I'm very happy with how he is. His voice is perfect. His maneuvers, like, just the way he acts is just so perfect. Just the way he's kind of robotic and just kind of distant, like, in the intros. He doesn't give a shit about your feelings. Like, he's clearly, like, controlled. Like, I just love that. I love that they're making him out to be this, like, entity that doesn't, like, relate to humans and is kind of his own thing. I'm just loving everything about him. Like, he looks absolutely perfect. So, and yeah, like the shaders, like I haven't seen many, but that white one you just showed, like that looks great. Like, really, there's only one that I didn't care for, and I saw it on like Reddit or some shit. Like, he has a helmet with like spikes, like on his like helmet and like ears and stuff.
Yeah, the one that looks kind of fishy or something.
Yeah, I did not love that. But other than that, like he just looks amazing, and I don't even have to use the gear on him, like you said. Base design is perfect. So other than gameplay stuff, like honestly, like this character, I expect him to not really be that big of a part in the story. I expect him to I don't expect him to get it right, but I'm not expecting them to, I guess. Just the character, how he is, how I'm going to be able to play him, and just his personality and the intros and everything, I'm totally content with this. Like, if he dies immediately in the story, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm just glad they put him in, and they allowed, because like this character had such a big reaction. Like, I don't think any other character on the roster really had as big of a reaction as Dr. Fate, because not many people know about Dr. Fate. Like, he's well known like in the comics community, but like ask some dude on the street, Superman, like if he knows Superman or Dr. Fate, obviously he's gonna say Superman. So I'm glad that they're getting this character out there, because I knew all along like people would love this character, but he just hasn't had enough exposure. So
absolutely, 100%. Yeah, this is a character that can have like a Deadpool effect after Marvel 3, where Deadpool was put in there and his popularity just skyrocketed from then on as well. So I think getting him more out in the limelight of the public and all the casuals that come by the game, now they're going to see this character and now they're going to talk. So going into Injustice 3, I think he's going to have that huge following that's demanding him way more than the vocal minority that was demanding him before. I think it is going to be the vocal majority in that case that are really clamoring for him to return. So yeah, it would suck to see him just immediately like get crushed by a giant book as soon as he enters like the story or something. But
yeah,
ultimately, yeah, I'm just glad he made it. So
yeah, me too. Yeah, he looks perfect. Like, I'm so happy with how he is. And yeah, like I just think if it really does have that big of an impact, it would just be sick to see him like appear in a movie as a cameo or some shit. Like, when shit's going down in Justice League or some shit, he just appears and tries to help or some shit. Like,
Yeah.
just getting him out there, you know.
You never know. You never know how it can snowball. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a good start for him. So, very happy with how he is. Couldn't have asked for more. Like, this is really the thing that made me excited for the game. I wasn't excited until I saw that Dr. Fate was in, because he's easily my most requested for Injustice 1. I spent days on Twitter bothering Boone, fucking on forums, just hammering for this character.
Dr. Fate and bitch.
Yeah, like, I was aggressive, you know, but...
It's okay, man. I love you.
Yeah. Not my brightest day, but yeah, I was pretty happy with how he is now. I think it was worth the wait. So yeah, 10 out of 10 as well. I think he's near perfect as a character I could have asked for. So. I'll hand it over to who hasn't gone yet.
I think it's just Tim.
Ishii and Tim.
Oh, Ishii and Tim.
Okay, I'll give it to Ishii then.
I feel like, as someone who doesn't know Dr. Fate too well, this was a really good, introduction for me to the character, because, my God, his gameplay is amazing. I especially love the design. I love how, like, sort of the rims of the eyes of the helmet has, like, some sort of Egyptian-esque design. And, my God, overall, this is just such a really cool character. I remember when I was doing everyone, like all the other cast members and superhero fashion, I researched a bit of Dr. Fate because I was going into the character blind. And so when I researched the character's design, I kind of sidetracked a bit and went to the character's lore and stuff. And I'm like, this is a really cool character. You know, I really want to know more about him. And so, and seeing him in Injustice really just sort of upped that a bit. And I'm really happy to see Fate in this game, and really happy that those who wanted him in, got their character in. And so, yeah, Fate's really, I'm totally rooting for him. He's awesome. Again,
Definitely.
since I'm not too like a huge fan of the character, obviously, since I was still new to him, I'll give him a 9. But I mean, 9 on its own is pretty damn close to near perfect. So yeah. So
Yeah, for a character you don't know about, it seems like he has left an impression on you. Just
he's left a really big positive impression. He just seems really cool.
A 9,
So,
that's all? Okay, whatever. Temp, go.
All right. I don't want to say too much. He does look really good. He has the best default costume in the game, bar none. I mean, it's no secret I love shiny shit, and they really did shiny shit well in this costume. It's almost like an Egyptian sort of template with like a nautical, almost, I guess I would call it an ocean knot kind of flavor going on. And the coloring looks good. The little the sewing designs on the chest look really cool. The padding on the side looks super comfortable. Everything looks so good. Like, God, and the gameplay is great. I'll leave the gameplay for that. Yes, I think he looks very obtuse from a gameplay design. I think it's going to take a lot of work, but I don't think that's a bad thing. Obtuse does not necessarily mean hard. It just means you're going to have to, it may take a little bit of research. But one more thing I'll cover that I don't think was covered by you guys is the reason why his intro dialogues work so well is because everything he says sounds like it's coming from a place of justified anger. Like, it just... He talks like a judge, and I love that. I think that is so
exactly.
in my
One example that I wanted to mention is I love when Green Lantern's like, "Oh, are you a Green Lantern fan, huh?" And he goes, "Sometimes, sometimes not." And then he shuts the book, and it's just great. Like, it's so perfect given this universe, everything he's fucking done.
All right, I want to give him an 8.5, which is, for me, is good. You have to work your ass off. I don't think I've given an 8.5 yet. I think the highest I've given is 8. So that's pretty fucking good. You know who didn't get an 8.5? Green Lantern. This character is the biggest fucking mixed bag. Best shaders in the game, bar none, no doubt. His design's not bad. Like, it's spots. It's a little over-designed. I miss the simplicity of IJ1 Green Lantern, but it doesn't look bad, though. I think it works. The gear, I hate all the helmets, whatever. The gear's fine. I know I don't want to be a broken record, but his constructs look really uninspired. I think for every lantern, you have to go all out, or it doesn't work. You really need to be, balls to the wall. And I mean, when I look at his Ermac slam, I'm like, why could that have not been a construct? So just things like that. So yeah, I won't beat that horse anymore. And that was really disappointing in Justice 1. And it's even more disappointing in Justice 2. I wanted so much more from Green Lantern. I know they're capable of more. They've done great things in this game. There's no reason they could not have done that with Green Lantern. But I do like Hal Jordan. I do like his arc. I think he's kind of a tragic figure. Not innocent by any means, but I think there's a lot left to do with this character. And in a moment, I will pass it on to Brusque, but I just wanted to let you know, I do need to step away for about 5 to 10 minutes. I'll be back as soon as I can, though.
Okay.
Brusque, take over, man.
All right.
Rating, because of the shaders, 7.5. Go on.
Oh, okay. I was going to say 3 words. John Stewart hype. That's all I'm going to say. Because of the John Stewart skin, I will probably have to say a 7 out of 10. Because the reason why I used Green Lantern a little bit in the first game was because of John Stewart. Because John Stewart is my favorite Green Lantern, so I'm just so glad he was in the game, in this game, because everyone's like, "Oh, he's dead." I was like, "Dude, it doesn't matter. He's just gonna be in the game because whatever, they're just gonna throw in a skin. It's not gonna matter." Oh no! I was like, "Just watch. Boom, he's in the game. Done." All right. I'll give it to Redman.
Okay. Yeah, I thought him being dead in the comics was kind of weird, but I'm not surprised that they just threw him in as a skin. I think it's fine. He looks like Green Lantern. I'm not too impressed with the gameplay. I played him a fair bit in Injustice 1. I thought he was kind of fun. Even though he was boring, I did kind of enjoy playing him. This game, he kind of the same. Not really looking forward to playing him with everyone else looking so much more interesting on the roster, but it's just Green Lantern. I have some quarrels with his shaders, I guess. I don't like how they're so, like, pastely, like, kind of washed out. Like, I thought they would be much more vibrant, like the Yellow Lantern shader in Injustice 1. Like, I don't know if this is how they look in the comics, but I just don't really like the washed out look for the Red Lantern and blue shaders. Other than that, it's just like Green Lantern. I don't really give a shit. So 6 out of 10, it's fine. It's whatever. I'll hand it over to Ishii.
I'm not a big fan of the design. Too much, lining and armor going around, and it looks. This is just me, but when you have pupils that are white and go along with and when you have them go along with like black irises, it looks creepy as shit. I'm looking at the render right now. It looks like he's peering into my soul.
Yeah, I don't like that.
He's just blank and motionless. It's horrendous. Like, if I see him smiling slowly, I would be legitimately creeped out.
Oh my god. I'm gonna use the face edit app now.
Yeah. You
my
do that.
God,
I'm doing that right now, actually.
no one should do that. Not on this one.
Yeah, please
It
no.
looks horrifying. But yeah. I'm really digging the shaders and how you can change make him sort of different color lanterns. And I mentioned before we started recording that I missed the fact that even the lantern symbols change depending on what shader you use. So that's pretty neat. I'm not really sure if I dig Steve Bloom as his voice actor. I'm more partial to Nathan Fillion. But I'm kind of digging the story direction he's taking. I'm really glad he finally came to his senses and became a Green Lantern again. I never liked the Yellow Lantern. I think it betrays Hal's character in every single way possible, but glad to see him back on the side of good. So, I mean, I guess I'll drop a 7 or a 6 on him. Probably more so than a 7 just because of the variety with the shaders. But yeah, I'll drop this on Cyborg.
Okay, Green Lantern for me is... I like Green Lantern as the character. I do not like Hal Jordan in this universe at all. I think he's beyond redemption. I disagree with Temp in that I feel like Temp gives him a little bit more, like, he feels like it's still beyond like it's still within the realm of that this character could redeem themselves. I disagree. Whereas I feel like Barry is like was right on that line. I can buy Barry redeeming himself, but I mean, Hal is the reason why. Well, I mean, in a way, indirectly, he is the reason why Jon Stewart died. He's the reason why Kilowog and several other Green Lanterns died, including Chip. And he's directly the reason for why Guy Gardner died. So this is the man, and Ganthet, mind you, this is the man that basically led to all of his friends, all of his co-workers, all of his comrades, all of those people died based on this man's willingness to work with Sinestro. That's why I say indirectly, because Sinestro is the one that actually killed Jon Stewart. It's the fact that Hal Jordan was working with Sinestro to begin with, and Superman, that even led to that conclusion. And same with along the lines with all the other ones, except for Guy Gardner, who he actually killed because Sinestro tricked him into thinking that Guy Gardner killed Jon Stewart. It's just beyond me why we would redeem this person or believe that he could be redeemed. This is also a man that carried Atlantis into the desert to have the people burn as a power play, so on and so forth. He did all sorts of things. It doesn't stop there, and yeah, it's just ridiculous. So,
which is why I hope I see in the story that the Guardians will put him through like very, very hard trials, because it's going to be satisfying to see like Yellow Lantern Hal Jordan just suffer from these trials by the Guardians and everything like that. So I hope they do that. I really hope they show like his progression to becoming a Green Lantern again, and just having watching him suffer from the trials. I think that'll just be great. I don't know if they'll do that or not, but I think we got a good hint of that in one of the Shadow Alliance's trailers. So
yeah.
You sadistic bastard.
But it's just, I don't know. To me, this character has led to so many deaths that can't be undone. I also forgot Mogo or whatever the hell the Green Lantern planet is. I mean, for fuck's sake, this guy betrayed his own core just for it's just all of that. Just for the sake of it. It's just ridiculous to me. I mean, it should have stopped after Green Arrow. I mean, he should not. After Green Arrow was beaten into a bloody pulp to where his head didn't even exist by Superman, Green Lantern, they played up in the comics that these two were buddies. Hal and Ollie and Black Canary, they all would go out to the bars and they had plenty of good times together. So they played up that, and the fact that he just at the funeral, he just kind of shrugs it off and moves on, like, it's just disgusting to me.
Was he a Yellow Lantern at that point when Ollie was killed, or no?
No, I don't think that happened till year 2. So, okay. No, that was after the fact. And, yeah, he was manipulated and turning into a Yellow Lantern because of he had to save Carol as she was falling. Yeah. But up to that point, he should have already made his choice that he would not work with Sinestro, and that he wasn't going to be with Superman anymore after killing Ollie. But just, yeah, everything else that happened after that is just ridiculous. And the Sahara, bringing the fucking Atlantis era was done prior to becoming a Yellow Lantern. So it's just, there's just too many. He got his hands really dirty, and I don't excuse any, the stuff when he was a Yellow Lantern. That's just, it's all disgusting to me. So the fact that they went on for so long, it's just gross. And also, keep in mind, I mean, I know the comics kind of get fucked over, at least in the game from what we can tell story-wise, but he also is made aware that Superman basically is what ordered Zaz to kill Alfred. And the fact that he still worked with this man, it's just, like I said, it's hard for me to consider this man redeemable. I don't care what the hell he goes through. He deserves death, and that's it. So, and that's coming from a Hal Jordan fan. That's how much they've definitely doing a good job at making this character out to be a complete shitbag. So if they can make a believer out of me through story, then kudos to them, because that would take a complete 180. But in terms of gameplay, he looks okay. I don't know. I like Green Lantern. I want every excuse to play Green Lantern based on his shaders. But yeah, no, his gameplay is not really doing it for me. So, maybe his abilities kind of add more things to it, but Not really too excited for his gameplay, but I do want a reason to play him just based on his shaders and the different lantern cores. And I wish Guy Gardner was a premier skin, but unfortunately right now that's not happening. Down the line. Moving on to Firestorm. Ranking, I will say... I'll say...
I'm calling it.
What's that?
I said I'm calling a 7. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I was dancing around 6.5 to 7. I'll say 7. Yeah, and then okay, Firestorm. I'm not really that much of a fan of this character. Not for any particular reason. Fire is just not my element. It's probably the similar reason for Starfire. I'm not super into fire as an element. I like ice as my main one. I like electricity as my second. I like water as maybe my third. And then maybe telekinesis, so on and so forth. So fire is not really my thing. So Firestorm doesn't do a whole lot for me, a guy that throws around fire. And the transmutation's not really represented in his gameplay a whole lot. So yeah, there's not a whole lot for me with this character. But I'm excited for the fans that wanted him, so that's cool. His design looks neat. Don't have any complaints about his design. I think it looks good. Good to have another black character represented, of course. And yeah. Story-wise, not sure what he's going to do, but okay, I'm on board. Yeah, 6.5 out of 10. And Redman, why don't you go?
Okay, yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I'm not too interested in the character. I was curious to see
dear
the
God,
route.
that is fucking creepy, by the way. But anyways, continue.
Oh, the Green Lantern.
The Green Lantern.
Thank God I had my mic muted. That was the loudest gasp I ever had all night.
Yeah. Yeah, Firestorm though, I was curious to see the route they would take. I was hoping for the transmutation stuff as well. Since they don't really have much of that in the game, I'm not too interested in them. I was never like a big fan of the character or anything, but I was curious to see what they do with him. I'm not really that impressed. Probably not going to use him, but the gear they showed off today actually looks really neat. I think it looks pretty badass there. Yeah, I would like to see like a Ronnie Premier skin or something like that. I think that'd be neat. Not much to say. I also would like to see. I wish they would have implemented Martin Stein like in his gameplay somehow. Maybe just like through quotes or something, just to include him there. I don't really like how they kind of ignored that and just make him inside his head. Like I get that is how it is, but I feel like you should be able to like talk with him during the gameplay. But I get why that might have been hard to implement. But that's really the only gripe I have with the character. He's fine. I think he's a good choice to put on the roster, so I'll give him a 6 out of 10. I'm not too interested in him, but also I think he's a good choice. Yeah. So I'll hand that over to Ishii, who I feel like you should probably like the character, maybe depending.
Yeah, you know me. I do like fire as an element. Fire is my element.
Yeah.
Fire and electricity both. And seeing Firestorm in this game is well, like I've heard of the character before. I just never really saw him in action. Like I never took the time to read a Firestorm comic or like and see any forms of media he was represented in. So Injustice really was the first time I've ever seen this character in action. I'm pretty impressed from what I've seen. I can't remember too much apart from I believe he was doing something with like solar power and like molecular stuff. But hopefully this is a character I'll probably get around more once I actually pick up the game and try him out. Because I'm definitely willing to give him a chance. Also, kind of cool how he looks like Fujin from some angles. I remember in his debut trailer, everyone was like saying that.
I can see it.
But yeah, pretty cool character. I'll definitely give him a go. I guess again, as a character that I don't really know too much about, I feel like it'd be unfair for me to give him a score. Yeah. But I mean, if I guess I have to, I'll drop a 7. Because I'm definitely willing to give him a shot. All right, Brusque.
I will say that Firestorm is all right. I mean, I've never been too invested in the character. I know who he is. It's just that I always thought he was a cool character. It's just that I never really was a huge fan of him. But I think he's a really good addition to the Injustice 2 roster. I don't think he's a waste or anything. He looks like Fujin from this render picture. His gear looks really good though. I remember there was like that one gear set that was shown in today's stream. Looked really, really cool. So
Yeah.
it's just Firestorm. So I'll just say he's cool. Great addition, not a waste, and I'm glad he's in the game because I know a lot of people did want him in, and I'm glad those people who wanted him in got him in. So I'll give him a 6 out of 10.
Tim.
Sup. Did you want to go on a Firestorm?
Sure, yeah. He's kind of in the same territory as Cheetah. Because he's a little more obscure, I'm a little more lenient. And I feel like this character kind of got an unfair rap. I think out of all the reveals, his reveal was the weakest. I don't think they did a good job. And, you know, I got to admire them trying to let the community have the character first and, like, kind of display him, you know, and I think the intent was good, but in the end, they just didn't do justice to the character.
Talking about the
kind of
up, down,
awkward.
down thing.
It was kind of awkward and cringe-worthy.
Yeah, his reveal was botched. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I see what they were trying to do, and I think what they were trying to do was really cool, but it just...
Yeah.
I loved
This
how
poor- Yeah?
I loved how like Ed comes out. He's like, "Yeah, we're announcing Firestorm." It's like, what? Seriously, just I don't know. That bothers me.
No, I hear you. Yeah, just this poor character got off on the wrong foot, unfortunately, and I think that did hurt the reveal quite a bit. I also think that there's a few things about this character that are very underwhelming. I don't like his super. I feel like his trait was very cookie cutter. It's the most traitiest trait in the game.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you press this button, he gets some more options. Isn't that great? Okay, cool. But because he is a little more obscure, and because I think the base design is really good, I'm willing to give him a try. He is this game's premier zoner, in my opinion. And the fact that people aren't really jumping on the Firestorm bandwagon makes me a little more interested in trying him out. It'd be cool if he got some sort of representation in our group. So, and I think Razor's shown some interest. I think Razor's still leaning towards Catwoman. But yeah, I'll give him a try. And I loved Sinestro in the last game, even though I ultimately didn't want a zone. That just wasn't my thing. I'm playing so many hybrid characters and Rushdown characters. I can definitely make room for this character if I tried hard enough. So we'll see how it goes. But definitely sufficient. He has, you know, drawbacks, but none of them are game break, or none of them are deal breaking for me. So I'll give him a 6.5. Overall, pretty decent. And we're on Arrow now, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, I've already praised this character so much. Overall, this was a character who I thought was already very good in the other game. He wasn't tier, but I don't think that was a fault of the design, like, at all. I think the top 5 in that game were so overbearing that if you nerf the top 5, he becomes a perfectly viable character. And Chris G kind of made everyone eat their own shit when it came to this character anyway, because he was doing so well in the beginning. The design is great. He looks fantastic. The gear looks fantastic. The shaders look fantastic. The gameplay, which was already fine, he's one of the most well-designed characters in the last game, is even better now. I love the addition of the punch. I love the fact that he has ranged options with decent damage, and just I can't wait to see what I can do with those plus frames on the punch arrow. That's gonna be really cool. And really, I think Cyborg will concur with this, but the comic really gave me a higher opinion of Green Arrow. Green Arrow was very well done in the Injustice comics, so just great stuff. Really excited for this character. He's looking awesome. Can't wait to play as him. I'm going to give him an 8. And let's go with Cyborg. Cyborg, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I liked him a lot in the comics. He's right on there, on par with Black Canary in terms of... I mean, obviously I was more of a Green Arrow fan than I was a Black Canary fan going into the comics, but Green Arrow was definitely... he raised up in level of interest on my end based on the way he was written. So definitely dig his appearance there. Looking forward to having him back in the story here and seeing how that whole thing goes. And similar on on a similar vein as Black Canary, if this Green Arrow is brought in here to die after the last Green Arrow died, I feel really bad for Black Canary that both times she has gotten involved in this damn universe, her fucking Green Arrows died. Like
he accidentally shoots Kent again.
yeah, yep, just paw Kent, just take another arrow right in the shoulder. But no, so I'm hoping that everything goes out well there, and his gameplay definitely looks better. It looks like they solved some of the issues that he had last game, and I think he looks like a lot of fun. He's another character that I'm interested in playing, but maybe once I clean off my plate, I will go back for seconds and try him out. And I love his mobility when he's shooting arrows. I love that he can put the arrows back. His gear looks great. Everything about him looks great. I'm interested in story potential. So for me, I would give him a 8.5 out of 10. And I will go with Brusque.
All right. I'm a big fan of Green Arrow. I mean, I've said that for a lot of characters on here. But I'm glad Green Arrow's back after the comeback. Given his his current state right now, he's pretty. Arrow TV show's still there and everything like that. Gear's great. Shaders are great. Everything you guys pretty much said is pretty much my thoughts as well. I mean, it's not a character I probably would use, but I would say that he's a really, really good character in gameplay and everything. Probably somebody I will eventually pick up as time goes by. But that's just my quick thoughts. You guys pretty much just took my words for it. I'll give him a 8.5 out of 10. And Redman.
Okay. Gameplay wise, I think Green Arrow is a lot more interesting than he was in the first game. I think one of the worst things about Green Arrow in the first game was that he wasn't able to really combo off anything other than Ice Arrow. Like, he was kind of a one-note character. He was just pokes into into Ice Arrows. I mean, that's pretty much it. But
you guys, you guys aren't gonna believe this. I think it stopped recording like an hour ago.
Oh my god. Oh, shit.
Just kidding, gotcha.
Okay, that's good. Holy shit.
Oh shit. No, I'm just kidding. Continue.
April Fool's was last month.
I know. But I just wanted everyone to just relish in the pain for a second.
to wake up a little bit.
Yeah, just that's a nice slap to the face. Anyways, continue.
Alright, water on her face.
That would have really sucked.
We're almost done,
he was kind of one note. He just did pokes into Ice Arrows and shit. And then he had Unblockable Super. That was pretty much Green Arrow. I'm glad they gave him more extensions. I'm glad he looks a lot more fun. The Electric Arrow has more combo utility. You're able to juggle off it more. Boxing Glove Arrow looks ridiculous. It just looks like a lot of fun. I think he's a lot more improved. Personality-wise, he's great. He's always been great. He was great in Injustice 1. I'm glad they're going with the alternate universe thing with him. It's just good continuity. I'm glad. I'm kind of glad he's back now. So, I'll also give him an 8. Really good addition. So, Ishii.
Yeah. I think I probably should have expected Arrow to come back. Yeah. I really like Archers, and it really translates well into his gameplay. It really does have a lot of options. It seems like a pretty cool character to get around. I especially love how the Medieval Woodsman hat is part of the gear options, so that's cool. I really don't have anything else to say. You guys covered it pretty much. You guys nailed it to the ground. So, I'll throw a solid 7.5. Probably that's like my first decimal, because I feel like an asshole for saying a 7, especially how good, how well received he seems to be. So yeah.
That's good.
Black Adam.
I will defeat you with magic.
Yeah, his voice actor has changed, and I feel like the accent's more heavy this time around, which is cool, I guess. And not feeling the face so much. He doesn't really. Still, I don't know. Something about the forehead just seems too big. But
It looks
hell,
like
the
a
design's
head
not.
popping out of a head.
You know, yeah, I kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Like it looks like it starts to go like round off, but then it's like, nope, we got more coming. I am Brainiac.
Design's okay, I suppose. Gameplay, I can't remember too much. I remember when I first watched the Shadow Alliances. Was it part? Help me out
I
here.
think it was part three. It's three.
3?
Yeah, that's where they first
Oh.
revealed Black Adam.
Okay. And I remember from that trailer, they didn't really show much, but they did show his super, which he was like crashing them into the pyramid, and yelling Shazam, and then the fucking lightning strikes them back to the arena. And it's pretty legit. I mean, he's obviously not going to be a character I'll pick, but I don't know, lightning is cool. Kind of bummed Shazam. Captain Marvel. Sorry. Kind of bummed Captain Marvel isn't coming back. And I mean, I don't see any signs of him being a premier skin for Black Adam anytime soon. So, but yeah, I mean, not too excited for Adam. I guess I'll give him a 6. Moving on to you, Redman.
Okay. I think I'm easily the most excited for the character out of everyone in the Nethercast group. I mained him early on in Injustice 1, and I used him for a few months, and I just love the character. I didn't expect him to come back. I don't really feel like he needed to come back out of everyone. But I'm kind of glad he did because he looks fun. Like, he looks pretty much the same. I think he's going to be really good. He looks even better somehow than he was in Injustice 1, where he was a monster. Yeah, he looks good. I hate his face. I mean, his hair looks like shit. That's really the only thing I would change. I don't even know if I could change that over here. I can put stupid-ass helmets on him, but that doesn't really fix anything. He just looks like a different person. I didn't really like that at all. I don't know if I'm digging the voice either. I got used to the Injustice 1 one, so not totally down for that, but...
Who presume too much.
Yeah. His design, though, I think it's okay. I'm actually okay with it. I'm glad that you can remove his cape. I'll probably just do that and stick with the base design, probably. I'm curious to see his shaders. Yeah, looks good. Happy. I'm actually happy he's in the game now. I know Smoke Man shits on me every day for it, but I mean, I'm digging him. I'm glad he's in. I'll pass over to Tim.
I don't know. I like the gameplay style. It's hard to say that though, because I'm never going to use this character probably, unless I can get a really cool gear set. I just, like I said, it was just awkward opening people up with this character. You kind of have to play this really refined zoning / like random checking your opponent. I don't know. It's a really weird style of play, but it's cool. I'm glad to see it back. From the neck down, the design looks really cool. I love the symbol, the gold, just the cape looks really tight. The face, yeah, this is probably the worst offender of why are you arbitrarily changing faces. I don't like it at all. I think the fact that he's so like pro-regime is kind of weird, since he seemed like sort of a stuck-up jobber in the last game, and in the comic he was kind of coerced into the whole regime thing anyway. Although the comic's losing salt every time we find out more about the story modes, so who knows there. He animates really well. I'll say that. They really did a good job animating the character, and I do kind of like the changes, although we'll see how that translates into balance. I still think his damage is fucking ridiculous, but...
It's a lot, yeah.
It's definitely over the line, in my opinion. But other than that, no really strong feelings. I'll give him a 6.5 out of 10. And Brusque.
I'm probably in the minority of like not minding Black Adam's face. I'm not saying it doesn't bother me. It kind of does, but I'm just like fine, whatever. But the gear that they showcased today was really, really cool. Was it today or was it? Yeah, it was today. They just showed off some Black Adam gear. Oh yeah, they did. Yeah, it was him. Yeah, the gear looks really, really good on Black Adam. I love it.
His default design is great, but I really, really want a Shazam premiere skin or Captain Marvel premiere skin, whatever we want to call it. I really, really want.
Shazam is the wizard. Captain Marvel's Billy Batson.
Yeah,
That's all.
Whatever. But yeah, I really wish that was in the game for him, but apparently it doesn't look like we're going to get it. That's fine though. Probably going to get it as a DLC skin or something like that. I'm pretty sure something like that is going to come up. But yeah, I like his super move. His super move was great. Everything else, and I don't mind his voice. I mean, I kind of did like the first voice actor, but I don't know. I don't mind it. I mean, I like Black Adam as a character. I mean, I keep saying that for a lot of characters, but I do like him. So I give him a 7.5 out of 10. Captain Cold. Now,
Whoa. Hold on a second there, champ.
Whoa. Did I forget somebody?
I think you did.
Oh, no.
Okay, Black Adam. He's pretty cool. All right, let's move on to Captain Cold. For Black Adam, I think he looks good design-wise. I've always wanted to play as Joe Pesci in a fighting game, so it works for me. And gameplay, I do like his new string with the bolt of lightning in the cloud. I like the effects that he's got going on. And yeah, some cool. Don't ever imagine playing him. I did like some of his gear though, like the crown looking thing that's around his head and some other gear that he had. But yeah, overall, I don't have any plans to play him at all. But he looked cool. And I do like lightning, electricity as a element, as I said before. So overall, I'll give him a 6.5. And let's move on to Captain Cold. Oh boy, Captain Cold / Mr. Freeze, but Captain Cold. Gameplay for Captain Cold, really interesting to me. I'm not really good at playing trap characters or that kind of style, but at the same time, he makes me kind of want to learn because he does look like a lot of fun, and I like how a lot of his moves are unique. I like the wall that you can create and then kick at them that blocks projectiles. Hell, I like the giant block of ice that you can just create that forces the opponent to either bust through it or jump over it. To me, to have just you're basically like creating an element on the stage itself, which is really interesting to me. I also like some of his abilities, like I mentioned the Mega Man platforms, as somebody coined it at one point, and I'm running with it. So I like that you can create these platforms, jump on them. You can jump off of that platform and create another platform in the air to jump onto. It's just interesting to me that you can create these platforms. Don't know what, like, I'm with Temp. I don't know what I would do after that, but I think the possibilities, and I'm interested to see how they are used, actually, is what I'm getting at, is I think there's going to be some interesting possibilities. Maybe you'll create a platform and then put a block of ice on that platform. I don't know. I like the fact that I can do that. I like his trait. It seems really interesting, that you can just flash freeze somebody, like, instantly. I think that's really cool. Love his intro, love his super, and love his throw. And Mr. Freeze, not so much on the design-wise, but hey, talked about that. Unfortunately disappointing, but Captain Cold looks really good, and I like his base outfit as well. Hopefully we can put his hood up. I don't think anybody's confirmed that we can, so if there is a gear piece that does that, has not been revealed yet, or somebody's not earned it in the game, but I'm really hoping on that. That's the only real reservation I have about his design. Otherwise, I think he looks really good, and interested to see what he does in story mode. Hopefully some really interesting stuff, because he was good in the comics. For me, I will give Captain Cold an 8 out of 10. And I will throw it to Temp.
Captain Cold, I love the design. The design really made me reconsider this character, which I wasn't I was kind of hyped for him because I had this idea of sort of like an agile gun wielder, almost like an ice gunslinger. That's not really what we got. He's very much kind of like a tank trap character. And although I think he looks really cool, I'm not convinced I can make this gameplay design work. I don't think it's for me, but I want to try it anyway, because like I've said before, until you see the frame data, you can never really know how good of a rushdown character someone's going to be. Yeah, he's one of the few. I'm not terribly excited for story mode. This is one of the few characters that has me really interested. I really want to see what they do with him. I want to see how he responds to the whole Flash or James thing now that all the rogues have been murdered. I really sympathize with this character. I think he has a really good reason to be angry, especially if any of the Injustice comic stuff with the rogues are canon. So that's exciting. As for Senor Frio, I think he looks a little bland. It's the biggest problem. There's not one thing I can point at that does what. I can tell you right now what doesn't work. The pockets filled with ice tanks like that doesn't work at all for me.
Yeah, the
like,
canisters are fucking weird.
it's like he like they were going to design a place to put them, but they forgot to do it at the last minute, and he just shoved that shit in his pockets.
Yeah. How would you sit down? Like,
Yeah, exactly. It looks really uncomfortable.
This is the most uncomfortable predicament for me.
Yeah, it doesn't really look like Mr. Freeze to me, you know. So I guess it's not bad. Nothing other than the pocket shit. Nothing's really horrible. It looks a little. It's too Freeze, too furious. I don't know why it's not working for me. It doesn't look good. But yeah, Captain Cold looks tight. I'll give him a sincere effort. I'll give him all I got. If it works out, great. If not, I'm checking out the chat. Whoa.
Well, I fixed him.
looks like something.
I fixed him.
He's on point.
Anyways, continue. Nobody else can see this, so continue.
Oh, Redman, what do you got for us?
oh, Captain Cold looks good. Really wanted him, and he's in. Hated his design initially when he was shown in the Shadow of the Alliance's trailer when he had like the fully blue goggles, but it's insane how much one small change can make a character look so much better. Yeah, he looks really good. Not intending on playing him, not really digging his play style. I get why they designed him that way, but I'm with you. I imagine more of a rushdown kind of slip and slidey kind of character. That's how I thought they were going to go with him, but him being a zone or trap character, I mean, it's a fine play style to go with, but not one I don't think I'm going to indulge in. But yeah, his personality looks great.
Indulge.
Uh,
I will not partake. Thank you for offering.
yeah, no.
I will not entertain this.
I'm full, thanks.
I mean, I got my hands full of Fate. I mean, yeah. Yeah, personality's good. Intros are good. Like, design's good. I mean, people shit on the parka. I don't see why. Parkas are fucking awesome. I don't get the hate.
Parka's great.
I feel like it's the idea he has armor on the parka that's bothering them.
Yeah, I can see that. I was meaning more as like comic design. Like, people really don't dig the parka, but yeah.
Oh well,
Chicks-
fuck them.
Chicks dig the
Captain Cold doesn't work without a parka.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So I'm glad he has
Superman works
that.
alone. Anyways, continue.
Yeah. I kind of wish he just had regular like glasses, but like with the slits. But I'm okay with the goggle change. That's fine. Yeah, not much else to say. Character looks good. I'm not gonna play him, but glad he's in the game. So 8 out of 10. I'll pass him over to. Is she? Yeah.
Save that cheetah
Sure.
picture for later. All right.
I already saved all two. Yeah, Captain
Okay.
Cold. I mean, it's nice to see some Flash villains getting some representation, especially with Grodd and stuff. But I like Redman. I don't see myself playing this character. But I mean, aside from the dumb shoulder pads, he looks pretty okay, I guess. I don't know. I mean, he's also one of those characters that suffer from weird, awkward animations. Like, especially when he starts up his super. He has this weird facial animation where he looks like Jim Carrey under a mask.
I can kind of see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
His stupid. I said stupid.
Oh no, that super move is actually pretty legit. I especially love how it's stylistic too, like how he sort of slides around on gradually rising to the top and creates like this icy platform he jumps on and like crashes onto the opponent.
No,
I feel that's a really-
like it too. I thought that was just something you were.
Oh no, I just got tongue tied. That's all.
It's late.
It's a problem with talking fast. But yeah, I don't find myself playing this character, but he does look pretty cool. I'll give him that. I'll drop I guess an average rating of 5. Yeah.
Cool.
No pun intended.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. For me, honestly, I actually really did like Captain Cold's gameplay. I mean, I'm not a huge trap gameplay person. I mean, I actually kind of despise it to tell you the truth. Like, I did not. I tried to use what was it, Duelist Liu Kang and MKX, but Jesus Christ, I could not. I just couldn't. But Captain Cold looks
Fuck
something like.
traps.
Yeah, I know. But Captain Cold actually looks like someone I could actually play, like a trap character I can actually play. And I actually really do like the design. I actually don't have. I mean, yeah, I would want the standard glasses, but the goggles actually look pretty cool on him. No pun intended. Yeah, I just can't complain about the design. I actually like it a lot. I don't know, but it's just that when we first saw it in the Shadow Alliances trailer, it just looked really stupid. But with the Mr. Freeze skin, oh my god, I no, I don't like it at all. He looks skinny. No, it's probably the worst skin in the game. It's like, yeah, it's probably the worst skin in the game, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But the super's cool. His gameplay is great. But yeah, I can see myself using Captain Cold, but he's not. I don't plan to use him anytime soon. But yeah, I can see him, and he's cool. Oh my god, he's all right. Yeah, he's definitely cool. we get, yeah. But I'll give him a 6 out of 10. Great character. All right, Scarecrow. Now, I wasn't really looking forward to Scarecrow being in the game when I first kind of saw the leak. I was like, oh god, I can just see other characters being replaced with Scarecrow. I still think of that, but once I heard that Robert Englund was gonna be voicing him, I was like, oh my god, that is 10 times more better. And then when we saw him in the mobile game, like, what in the world is this design? But then I told myself, I was like, okay, it's probably going to be looking better in the consoles. And lo and behold, yes, it does. It looks way better than the consoles. And the gear is really cool. I like the Plague Doctor. I know some people are tired of the Plague Doctor stuff because, like, every time something scary characters are in the game, they're usually going to have a Plague Doctor mask. I don't know. I just really like Plague Doctor masks. It's
fuck that. It's badass as shit.
Yeah, personally, it's freaking awesome to me. But the hood that you can use, I don't think we've seen the classic Scarecrow hat. Yeah, the hat.
We've seen kind of like a cowboy hat that looks somewhat like it, but yeah, we haven't seen like the pointy one or anything.
I'm just hoping that we see something like that.
Wanted the hat back. I miss it.
But I'm liking the hood.
Yeah, here's the picture. Here's the gear that we saw today for reference for those that didn't see the stream.
That hood. That looks really good. But yeah, I really do like Scarecrow. Probably in the top 7. I mean, I'm mainly going to be using my top 5, but I can see him being in the top 7 or something like that. I'll give him a 9 out of 10, and I'll give this to Cyborg, which is Cyborg in English.
Yeah.
Hello?
What's up?
Cyborg? Yeah.
Cyborg.
Just letting the old dog into the room. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So, Scarecrow. This is a character that I've just wanted to play more and more and more and been happier with him more and more and more as time has gone on. Obviously, he was on my list for characters to be in the game, so I wanted him in there. The gameplay is not exactly what I wanted, but at the same time, I've grown to appreciate what it does because it does. It's different. It's less reliant on gimmicks and more reliant on just being so good and scary to go up against that it really does instill that kind of fear effect that I was hoping to get. So I like that, and his gameplay is crazy. I think giving him the sickle rather than the scythe was probably a good call because it gives him a lot of options and crazy specials, swinging it around and stuff, more so than you'd probably get with the scythe. I think the scythe looks cooler as an aesthetic for the character, but the sickle on a chain is good enough. I think it definitely looks cool, and I like that it's something you can change with his gear. Um, Speaking of his gear and his design, I was pretty open to the design when it was first shown, even on mobile. I said, okay, let's just give it some time, and I'm sure on the console it'll look even better. It's not the Scarecrow that I wanted, but at the same time, I'm open to it. And over time, that base design's actually grown on me, especially looking at the render on the website. I think I like it more and more. It's got the noose, it's got the sack, it's got a jacket, it's got some torn up, everything's all torn up, and I like the overall creepy look to the skin and all that stuff. I like that approach for it and the chain and everything. But this is a character that is based solely around gear. This is a character that has clearly some of the best gear in the game, in my opinion. The Plague Doctor mask, as you mentioned before, is fantastic. Yeah. The hood that is in the version that we saw today looks really, really good. And he's got like some metal mask where you can't even see his eyes, but you see the mouth that's open, so it looks kind of like almost like something you'd see on Hellraiser or something like that. He's got the cowboy hat, and I think that's the one, or no, the cowboy hat has like a skull for the mask, like a skull planted over his face, so it's like he's wearing somebody's skull on his face, which is really interesting. He's got several with bones and different metal things with nails and screws and spikes, and the tattered jacket that's like the one that we saw with the Plague Doctor, with the tattered jacket that's hanging back and flowing as he's moving. And yeah, he's just got a lot of great gear options, and I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to the gas mask. I'm looking forward to all of that type of stuff. I do hope we get a classic, the pointy Scarecrow hat. I do hope we get that. But even if not, I've seen enough that I am completely happy with what we got for the character, and it's just so awesome. I'm excited for the different shaders on him, because I think brown is perfectly what I would use for him, but just to mix it up, I might want like a black or a white or a green or, you know, anything like that, red. So yeah, I'm excited for him, and for between gameplay and gear and his role in the story, which I'm excited for, hoping that he plays some sort of decent role and is at least in a few scenes. I'm excited for his abilities and seeing how that changes things up. But yeah, he's definitely my number 3, and I don't think he's going anywhere unless his gameplay just absolutely is abysmal to me. This could easily be a very reliable character for my number 3 and for him. So yeah, I mean, overall, I give him a 8.5 out of 10. And I will throw it to... What's that?
I said already. Yeah.
Temp, has Temp gone yet?
No, not yet. I guess the design has grown on me quite a bit. I think I always thought the feathers were okay.
Oh yeah, and the Robert Englund voice, by the way, yeah, great. I know you mentioned that before, but I gotta agree. His intros in the Robert Englund voice is perfect for him. Anyways, continue.
No, for sure. The Robert Englund voice is a big, big part of this incarnation of Scarecrow. Yeah, I mean, it's so weird, because before we would just talk about his design. Was it good? Was it bad? Was it plain? Was it boring? Does it need gear? Is the gear going to be good? Once I saw gameplay, it's like none of that mattered anymore, because really all I could think about was, where is this character going to fall on the tier list? How prominent is this character going to be in the tournament scene? So even though the appearance I've warmed up to it a bit, it's still very much secondary to me. I'm really curious what the game... Because I can't help but to wonder, what if I'm wrong? What if this character ends up being low tier, he's slow, he's sluggish, he can't get anything started? I don't know. It's interesting. In a few days we'll know, but for now it's a lot of food for thought. So yeah, I'm going to give him a 6.5. I still don't see myself using him. But Ishi, what do you got for us?
Seeing him in the game was definitely a surprise to me, and a very pleasant one at that. Like, Scarecrow is my favorite Batman villain. And seeing him in the game, well, my first impressions on his design is, well, I'm gonna be honest, wasn't a big fan of, but then again, I had optimism with the gear system, and I was like, maybe maybe it's supposed to be all generically looking at first. It was the bare head that threw me off, and like a strong indicator that okay, maybe we're gonna have hat accessories or head accessories. Like he's gonna have a hood, you know, a hat. My biggest hope was the classic Scarecrow hat. I really missed the older Scarecrow designs where he used to have the tattered, you know, old dirty witch hat. I don't know, don't know what to call it. I wouldn't call it the cowboy hat because the tip is pointy.
It's kind of like a classic Scarecrow hat, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I really dig the feathers sticking out of his body. Gameplay wise, I'm not too sure. I mean, I originally envisioned him with the scythe because that's what that's what he always carries at least. But I suppose there's something unique about the sickle and chain, like the gameplay element that I'm missing here. And he's definitely a character I'm looking forward to giving a try. I mean, it's Scarecrow. I mean, I have to. So possibly when the game comes out, I'll give him a go. He's gonna get actually a solid 8 for me. I'm really liking the way he is in this game. I especially love how when he does his super, like the name of the opponent's on like a tombstone as he slams in front of them. Yeah, and I especially love the raven cawing sounds. Scarecrow has really done well in this game, and he's voiced by Robert Englund, which is a huge complementary feature to his character, and I'm absolutely loving it. Yeah.
I know you're loving it, but does Daddy approve? Does he?
Let's explore this terror together.
You fear being disconnected. All right, Brusque, you take it from here, man.
You didn't want to start off with Dark Side?
Oh wait, was that the last one?
Yeah, Redman.
I don't think so.
Redman still's got.
Redman.
Oh yeah, Redman's back. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just want to say real quick, I gave it an 8.5. It's leaning on a 9. That's all.
Yeah, I think I gave it a 9. Yeah.
I'm just scared. I'm just scared. Okay. Scared that I gave him the wrong number. I didn't.
You don't want to upset him.
No.
He's doing something right.
No.
If you're afraid.
Everyone has something to fear.
Yeah, Scarecrow looking pretty good. I think he's probably the most. I think of the Nethercast so far, like he's the character people want to use the most. I think he's on a lot of our lists. So I'm not the biggest fan of the character. I don't know much about him. I've always liked him. I always thought he's kind of sick. Not really what I was expecting for this game, but I thought he would be an interesting character in Injustice 1, so I am glad to see him in this game. And he does look sick. I think, like Bruce was saying, I think the thing that really got me hooked was the Bloodborne set, the Plague Doctor set. I thought that was just the coolest shit. Something I wasn't really expecting, but I just love that unique style that they gave him. Sickle's badass. I really like that. His moves look cool. His combos look fun. Just to see how he plays, if he'll be broken like Tim thinks, or if he'll be... I don't know.
I've seen some crazy videos with him on Twitter. Yeah, he's something.
Yeah,
else.
he's crazy.
Yeah, he's got some pretty neat stuff. He's got some pretty ridiculous stuff so far. So I'm looking to see how that pans out. Probably, I don't know where he's on my list. I'll probably use him, but maybe not immediately. I'll definitely try him out once I see what some people are doing with him. But he looks fun. I'm glad he's in the game. I'll give him a 9 out of 10.
Nice.
Yeah, I gotta give him a 9 too. Yeah, I can't be outdone, you know? Like, he'll beat me. He will touch me. He will hurt me.
Let's give him a 9.1 point.
No. 9 is fine. He doesn't deserve anything more than that. Not yet, anyways. Not till he proves it. Though I will say, as to wrap that up in a bow, is for me, like, between Fate, Ivy, and Scarecrow, the thing is about them, like, I have them down as a 1, 2, 3, but I could see any of the 3 being, like, my actual number 1. It's all going to come down to who I'm really enjoying the most as taking precedent. And then fall in line after that, basically. But Scarecrow has enough potential that if I'm like loving his gameplay more than the other two, he's gonna be my main out of the three. I feel like he's in that contention, whereas nobody else, my 4 or 5, and so on, is not. They aren't really contenders for that. I feel like those are the three that I'm really gonna try and hopefully make work the most. But
yeah, I'd love to see you Scarecrow since he's not really a character, that archetype you don't really like to use that much. So it'd be interesting to see you try and adapt to that.
That'd be weird.
If it could work, I think it could.
Take us to Darkseid.
Well, actually, I was just going to jump in. I'm probably going to have to drop off at this point. I'm just about out of time. Okay. Before I jet, do you want me to just throw out like shock all my scores out?
Yeah, just throw in Darkseid.
Shock lightning thoughts about Darkseid, Joker, Red Hood. Yeah.
You don't have to go on the rest. Fuck the rest. Just do Darkseid and Joker.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah.
Got you. Darkseid 5.5. It's not that it looks bad, just it's not a style I'm interested in. When I do zone, I have a very specific idea of what I want to do. So, other than that, it looks okay. Joker, I want to give him 3, not because he's bad. He's kind of like a healthy mix of all the Jokers. Just I'm never gonna play this character, but I do give him huge props for not rebuilding the character from the ground up just because he was low tier. I'm glad they tried to make the style work. So I don't think there was anything wrong with the style. Awesome, cool. Yeah, I'll catch you guys later. It's been fun.
All right.
Yeah, it's been a few days since we've started, so
yeah,
have a good time.
Peace.
All right, talk to you later, man.
Yeah, I'll make these. I'll make this quick. Darkseid.
Characters look so good.
Yeah, Darkseid's interesting. I wanted him in the first game, Glides in. I actually thought he would be the main villain of Injustice 2, but it turns out it's Brainiac, which I'm okay with. I'm just glad he's in the game in some form because I feel like he's such an important part of the DC lore, and he's such a prominent villain in the comics. I feel like it's kind of stupid not to include him in some form. So it's good to see him here. He looks fun. He looks brutal. He looks like Darkseid. That's really all I have to say. I'm glad they got him right this time. Not that shit that was in MK vs. DC. I'm really happy what we got here. I think my only complaint is really the voice. I don't think I dig the voice completely. I think I would have preferred the animated series or whatever. His voice is a lot better.
I think it's better. I think it's better than the MK vs. DC one. Not to say that one was bad, but yeah. I am Darkseid.
Yeah, no, this blows that shit out of the water. Like, we can completely forget that. Like, that can die to time pretty much. So, I'm happy with his design. I'm happy with the characters. So, yeah, I'll pass it off to Russ. Why don't you go
ahead? Darkseid is cool. I mean, I didn't expect a lot from him actually. I mean, I expected a Goro type of character. Kind of seems that way, but not really. I mean, he kind of looks like something's good about him. I just don't know what. I just feel like there's something in the Darkseid character where it'll make me like him, but I don't know what it is. And there's a chance that it's just not there, and I just can't get into the character. And I hope so, because I really, really like Darkseid. I did want him in the game. He was like, I think, my second most wanted character in the game. But he's cool. I mean, I don't think he's going to be playing a role in the story. I think he's just in there just for the sake of getting the pre-order sales and everything. But I'll give him a 6.5 out of 10. Ishii.
No, yeah, some of you may know Darkseid was what got me really into Injustice 2, like got me onto the hype train. I mean, just seeing all of his, the fucking Omega beams, he was literally the ultimate zoner. He could shoot his Omega beams in literally every direction, and that shit literally tracks you in his super move, so that's really cool. So I was really excited to see what he could offer in the stream, and I have to say, it didn't disappoint me. I just got slightly drawn back a bit, especially when I saw his ass get handed to him by Cheetah. I feel like, I mean, I do like his teleports and, the Omega beams. It's just, I feel like he's too slow, he's too big, which honestly I should have expected.
Honestly, I wouldn't let that get you down, because I honestly think any character Tyler uses just makes that character look so much worse. Like, when Tyler was
Damn,
using
dear
Swamp Thing,
God.
that made me like seriously now I want to use him. Like I'm just like his character sucks. Like I totally understand that, so I wouldn't let his gameplay bring it
On
down.
the
Once you
off
see like
chance that Tyler is listening, we love you, buddy.
yeah, Tyler, you're cool, better than
You're
Derek.
cool.
Just saying.
Well, I mean,
Chopping
Tyler,
combos.
yeah, Tyler had never had any. I mean, you should have known going in that Tyler is not even near the level of Dizzy. So comparing those two, based on that, yeah, I wouldn't compare that. I feel like a good Darkseid should be able to keep Cheetah out, especially because Darkseid is no slouch. He doesn't even have to completely rely on zoning because he has that fucking teleport, which leads to a mix or a 50-50 where you have to guess, is he going to go overhead or is he going to do the damn stomp that's a low. So yeah, I wouldn't let that discourage you completely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, he is. Don't get me wrong. He is very imposing in this game. It's just he has so much style. He literally gives no fucks throughout the entire fight, and that's a really cool. Like they really captured his personality well. I feel like he's even more imposing in this game than Brainiac, and that's a shame for Brainiac considering he's the final boss and he's being outshined by someone who isn't even in the narrative. But
That's true.
yeah. I'm a little disappointed he's not voiced by Michael Ironside, like in the Superman animated series, but he still delivers nonetheless. I'm guessing I'm gonna have to give Darkseid an 8. He does it really good in this game. So yeah, Cyborg.
Okay, Darkseid definitely looks very cool. I love his style. I love that he holds his hands behind his back as he fights and just does like little kind of swats at his opponent because he doesn't care enough to really put in the effort. He doesn't need to. He does the like windmill kicks and all sorts of crazy stuff like that. The Omega beams are what made me want to play the character, along with the style of how he fights. So the Omega beams are fantastic. I love all the different directions and just how they're animated. Look really, really good. The sound effects along with them sound really good as well. And yeah, he's just got some interesting stuff. The only thing I really don't care about is his trait. His trait is really awkward. I'm not really sure what to do with that. He looks good. I like his gear. I like his shaders from what I've seen. Yeah, his voice could be better, but it's not horrible. It's odd that his eyes show like normal pupils and stuff until like halfway into his intro. It's kind of an odd choice to make instead of just keeping him that color the whole time.
It is, yeah. It's weird.
And then,
It bothers me.
yeah, I mean, I like a lot of what's going on with him. And I would give him a, yeah, I'd say 8. Eight's fair. I was thinking 7.5 to 8, so we'll say 8. And all right, Joker, his super is good. His running with the crowbar is pretty decent. Some of his gear seems decent, and I don't hate his base form, like his base design. Gameplay doesn't really do a whole lot for me, but then again, it's the Joker, so I'm not really. I don't know what else I'd expect. I do like that they brought back the buzzer parry back. Looks like they made some good changes with how his haws work instead of having to parry or whatever. He can just get him manually, and I like that you can keep doing the haw to keep him going. You don't have to wait for him to, deplete to keep him going. And yeah, so some cool stuff there. And overall, not going to play the character, I don't think. And I'd give him 6.5 out of 10. And I will throw it to Redman.
Okay, yeah, I enjoyed playing Joker in the first game. I'm not really looking forward to him again in this game because, like I've said, the base roster is so good. It's just, I mean, he's on the lower list of characters I want to try, but I like the changes they made. Like you said, I like his trait now. It's a lot better implemented. I also think the refreshing is interesting. I wonder if that's even going to be good, if it's going to be worth it. Curious to see how people use that. Glad he still retains the Chattering Teeth. The best part about the character in the first game, in my opinion, was the Chattering Teeth juggles. Like, those are so much fun. Easily one of the more, like, unique and just interesting, like, combos in the first game. Like, there's so many, like, ways you could juggle with them. So I'm hoping he retains that in this game, which it looks like he does. Yeah, running crowbar is hilarious. I think that's a good move. Joy Buzzer is sick. yeah, I just really hope he has the Killing Joke stuff as gear, as well as the Red Hood stuff, and that's about it. Like, it looks fine. I'll give him a 7 out of 10. I'll pass it over to Ishi.
I honestly expected to see him coming. Not that I wanted to. I mean, I like Joker as a character, but again, he's one of those characters that suffers from the overexposure problem, and I'm pretty sure he was only in there because of popularity. I don't expect him too much to be in the story. I mean, judging from his body, it looks like he has, like blood dripping out from from bullet holes or wounds, so sort of implying that he's like possibly some ghoul or specter. Nothing else too major. I mean, his gameplay is cool, I guess. The super is particularly comical in a cool way. I mean, I don't know how does he like knock them out and immediately take them to like some sort of underground shed and torture them, then take them back to the arena. I'm not sure how that works.
Well, he's a ghost, so he can.
He's a
basically,
ghost, so yeah.
Yeah, he can basically just do whatever he wants to do.
That's fair. I mean, the design is like a blend between Heath Ledger and Jared Leto, which is, I guess, cool. I mean, as someone who's not a fan of Jared Leto, I can't really say too much, but
As a person.
as a person who doesn't like Jared Leto's Joker, I mean.
Jared Leto's a fucking asshole, clearly.
Well, there goes Jared Leto.
On the off chance that Jared Leto is listening, we love you, buddy.
I love you, Jared Leto.
He's like the #1 Nethercast fan.
I'm your #1 fan.
Oh my god, it's misery. I'm your #1
Yeah,
fan. I'm your #1 fan. Anyways, keep going.
Good movie.
But yeah, just to wrap it up, I mean, I love Richard Epcar. I love his Raiden. I'm not really a big fan of his Joker. I'm more partial to Mark Hamill, Troy Baker. But I suppose it's all good. I mean, I don't expect to see Joker too much in the story, and in terms of playability, he kind of seems to be overlooked by a lot of Injustice players out there. But yeah, I mean, I suppose I'll skip the rating too, since I don't really have an opinion on him at all. I mean, he's just there for me. I don't really have an opinion at all. So
Alright.
yeah,
Bring us home, Brusque.
this is
All
your
right,
man
well,
right here.
We ain't gonna talk about the DLC characters, or
Nah, just main
Fuck
characters.
'em.
okay, all right.
Too
yeah, 'cause
long
we
and
haven't.
shit.
Yeah, we haven't seen the gameplay.
We
for
got
those,
time for them another day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That's fine. I was just asking. Okay, this is my man. I am 100% satisfied.
And we're out of
with the
time.
Joker.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
I am 100% satisfied with the Joker. When I saw his reveal, I was mind blown. I mean, like, yes, he still has his Injustice 1 stuff. He just has a couple little additions to it. But man, what made it for me was the look. I actually really, really like the look. I like the Suicide Squad and Heath Ledger Joker combined into one, so it makes this, and I think it translated to this game perfectly. And I just don't know why people make a big deal out of it, because I'm like, dude, you can just freaking change it. You can even change the stupid face. So, just if you don't like it, then change it.
Change his stupid face.
If you don't like it, then change it. Because I am a big fan of Jared Leto's Joker and Heath Ledger's Joker. So just seeing it combined is really good. And what also made it for me was the I said the super move, right? The super move design and the buzzer counter from MK vs DC. I was like, oh my god, that is just gold. I'm just glad they brought it back. But I'll give Joker, you know what, since he's the last character, I'll give him a 10 out of 10, boys. Let's do this.
Nice, very nice.
Yeah.
But
But here's the twist. I'm not going to use them.
10 out of 10 for a character I won't
10 out of
use.
10 out of a character I'm not going to use. Or for a character I'm not going to use. But yep, those are my thoughts on the Joker. I'm really, really, really satisfied with them.
Okay. All right. Well, that finished this out this little shindig, and thanks for tuning in, guys. And we're excited for the game. Hopefully this helped us get a little bit closer to it. And hopefully you're listening to this and it'll pass by the time a little bit quicker. I'm so tired. It looks like the Raiden avatar that Ishii has just winked at me. Not sure why that happened. So
it's a sign.
You guys have a good one.
I'm coming in the game.
Enjoy the game. Join the closed Facebook group on Facebook, because that makes sense. And yeah, see you guys later. Leave your things in the comments if you want, or not, whatever. See ya.
Yeah, just do whatever you want. Adios.
See you guys.